1/30/2019, consider application 2019-017 for McConnell Trails Phase 2A subdivision plan in accordance with the approved PRD plan. Applicant McConnell Trails LLC, R2 medium density residential zoning district. The plan received planning commission approval on July 18, 2019.
Branch Iron PV, just 1 second. So this is a request for final approval for Phase 2A. This is just the overall master plan. Phase 2A is the area that's highlighted in red. So we originally came for overall Phase 2A. When we went back and looked at the grading, we found that there was a good balance point at roughly this point within the existing topography. If we were going to go up into here, we'd also have to push into Phase 3 and construct an additional pond. The developer wasn't ready to do that at this point in time. So they have gone ahead and divided Phase 2 into 2A and 2B. And this is the section that is 2A. There are 22 single-family lots that are shown in yellow. There are 26 townhomes that are in the brown here. And then there are 12 units of attached duplexes that are in orange located here. So we received Gateway's comment letter today. There's mostly administrative items, such as finishing the developer's agreement, the letter of credit. So we will comply with all those conditions. But all the technical comments have been addressed.
Are you putting sidewalks in?
Yes, so we're on both sides of the street.
Dan, are we going to ask for them to do like we asked for Indians of America, put 4-foot wide sidewalks in?
We do have the township center detail, which I believe is 4 feet.
Yeah, they're 4 foot.
Okay.
Yeah, they go in with the house, as each unit is developed.
They are 4 foot wide.
That's a question. What was in the letter that you received from Dan
I was
today?
going to go over that. So the administrative items that are required is that a full developer's agreement with established escrow must be executed. The final security must be in place. Conformist to all conditions required as a part of the PRD approval. The municipal authority's approval of the sanitary sewers, and the applicant obtaining all required permits, and the applicant and use development of the subject property comply with all applicable federal, state, county, township laws, statutes, ordinances, resolution, and regulations, including the limited to the Township's Unified Development Ordinance. Those are all conditions that you approved the first phase under, and this is just a reiteration from the township solicitor with these conditions.
You guys still working on putting some kind of safety fence up or something over the tunnel or the bridge, whatever you want to call it?
Yes, I actually have a draft plan that I have to send to Mr. Dazaroff so that we can work through the details of that, but there would be a guardrail and also a fence.
Okay.
Were those conditions, were they given by the planning commission or?
No, they're all administrative items.
Okay.
I'm just making them based upon these administrative items that I read in the record.
Seems like a lot that he has to do, and we're approving it this evening.
No, a developer's agreement is always done afterwards, says the financial security.
Okay.
The conditions to the PRD, that goes with every phase of the development. There were a number of conditions, if you remember, which included what Frank was talking about, the outside improvements. So they have to continue to conform to those. The municipal authorities on third party, they have to get their approval before they get building permits. We just cover that all the time. And then any other required permits, like they have to get an NPDS permit, which they already have. So they're ready to go. This is formalization. There's no technical comments.
Which is good. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 5-0. 1/31/2019, consider the application for the 2020 Washington County Local Share Account Grant application for the replacement of 4 bridges in Cecil Township Park, which is due by September 25th, 2019. This is a grant application that I've been working on with Dan, Bill, and Dawn to to replace the 4 bridges that go from Cecil, from the one side of Cecil Park to the other. I'm sure any of you who know, who've been in the park know that they're in desperate need of repair. Thanks, Dan. And we've been looking for grant monies to do that. The LSA grant that we're applying for requires a specific motion that be passed at a meeting that we can provide with the grant application showing that the board is in support of this grant. Dan, anything else that I missed?
No, there's a snapshot just of the picture of the bridges where they're located.
At this point, the grant that we're applying for is approximately $300,000. Well, it's $300,000, but there's a requirement that there's a 50% match by the township. So this is what we're working towards at this point. But this is why this is an agenda item. So any questions?
We
Concerns?
know what the costs are associated.
With the bridge?
So the bridges are between $50,000 and $65,000 a bridge. I don't have it in front of me, but am I wrong? That's right. The hope would be to get 2 paid for and then match or come up with the monies for 2 on our own. And there would be, should they accept our grant, there's a presentation before. There's a class that I have to go to August 15th. That'll kind of walk you through the process. We've been working on it anyways, but it'll kind of walk you through the process. And then there's a presentation should we be selected.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. 132-2019, consider the updated zoning district map dated May 28, 2019, which represents all approved changes since the last map revision. This is something that's come before the board, I think 2 months in a row prior, and I asked for clarification. I don't know if you remember, but they were teeny tiny, and for those of us that don't have the best eyes, it was hard to see. So Dan had walked through, and we tabled it a couple months in a row, but that's why this is back on there. They're already, it's nothing new, it's already stuff that's been approved, it's just an updated version of it. Do you have anything to add?
No, the map has been revised, in that the map on the screen here is basically all we're doing, the board is doing is ratifying the change to the map from previously approved changes in zoning. And the map is very specific and lists the changes, a total of 6, and where they're located, and they were highlighted on this particular map for the board to look at. And thanks to everybody for their research and recollection. This is something that should be done annually, so we don't get behind, and we're trying to testing our memory. So I'm glad to get this cleaned up and we can move on.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second? I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 133-2019, consider ordinance 1-2019, an ordinance of Cecil Township, Washington County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the Cecil Township Volunteer Fire Company number 1 of Lawrence, Cecil Township Volunteer number 2, and Cecil Township Volunteer Fire Company number 3 of Miller's Run, Inc. to obtain reimbursement for the cost of materials expended and services rendered in fighting fires and rendering emergency service and emergency rescue services, providing for severability, repealing prior ordinances to the contrary, and establishing an effective date. This is an ordinance that has been advertised for 30 days. Am I wrong? 45 days? Go ahead.
No, it doesn't require that long.
I forget. It was advertised.
Yes, it was properly advertised, no hearing is required.
Okay.
And it was advertised on July 20th.
Okay, it's advertised in July 20th. But it allows our fire companies to recoup costs that they incur when they attend an accident or attend a fire. So that's all it really is. And it's something that we've needed to do for a while now, and just are kind of pushing that through.
And basically, they can go direct to the insurance carriers. No township resident would ever be billed directly, and that's very clear in this ordinance, but it allows the fire department to work with the insurance carriers to seek that reimbursement.
Thank you, Jay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, been waiting for a long time.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 5-0. 134, 2019, consider a fireworks display for the Cecil Township Fall Festival. Do you want to talk about it? Okay. So Supervisor Dizio and I have been attending the Parks Board meetings for a while now and talking about the Fall Festival. They've been talking about the Fall Festival. One of the things that we've heard is that, it needs to be jazzed up a little bit, and so they came up with a plan to add fireworks. And so that's why this is an agenda item. The details of it aren't specific, but we're working on the possibility of having fireworks on one night or another at the Fall Festival this year, which I think would be awesome and would hopefully bring in a lot of people. But it needs to be board approved. So all those can I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I don't know, just a thought that we still should go through the permit process for the fireworks, through the fire department, just make sure, what location were you thinking of, or?
So it's not me. So there will be a meeting set up. We were at the Parks Board meeting this past Thursday. Before it gets to the process of deciding that, it needed to be board approved. Now there will be a meeting set up by Assistant Township Manager Jack King between the fire departments, the gentleman fireworks show who's going to be doing the fireworks, and the township to kind of work out those details, because you learn a lot about fireworks, but I guess there's different fireworks you buy based on the location that they're going to be set off from. I don't know, but that's why we're hiring an expert to do that. So now that once this gets formally approved, that is the next step, is to have that meeting. It's my understanding, Mr. King, that will be set up tomorrow. Well, not the meeting tomorrow, but it will be set up starting tomorrow. Okay. So.
Do we have a dollar amount, or do we know
We know that.
what these would cost?
I'm sorry?
Do you have an idea what they would cost?
So we're estimating around $3,000.
I would encourage just the fire departments to look at it. I mean, it's the fall festival. The fall festival is over at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, so you'd be bringing people back to the park. But also the concerns, maybe you're just, and I'm the first one to show up at fireworks, but that is the fall, and if they were in the parks shot off, well, we have the trail that's what, 50, 100 feet up above the floor of the Cecil Park. It just may be a hazard, or maybe very challenging if something were to catch fire.
That's why we're bringing in the experts. These are not things that I feel comfortable, and I think Supervisor, I don't speak for you, but I think he would agree. I think the Parks Board would agree. That's why we're asking for board approval to kind of move forward with the investigation of this process.
They're supposed to meet with Jason also.
Yeah.
The fire code officer will be there, supposed to attend the meeting.
Right.
And he would order fireworks that go up pretty high up in the air. He knows what he has to do.
It's just a challenge with the fall festival. Leaves are changing. Grass is dried out from the year. Just those thoughts that, don't mind the fireworks, maybe it would work better for another venue or some other time of year, or for the opening of a movie night or something in the park, or in the summer or spring, or something, maybe not as much in the fall.
Well, we felt the festival needed a jolt, so.
Okay.
Yeah, the goal was, people are already coming down the ground to do something to kind of add to the fall festival, and so this is a thought. I mean, please understand, our solicitor brought to my attention, she's absolutely right. There's no cost associated with this. This is just the investigation. If we sit down with the fire companies, the FCO, and the township, and we realize this isn't going to work at all, then it won't come back. If we do agree that this is something that we can move forward with, then there would be an agenda item in September that says we're going to spend X number of dollars on fireworks for approval or for use at the fall festival. But it's just whether or not, we don't want to go through all those steps and then find out the board doesn't want to do it.
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0.